All right, good evening, everyone. I'm calling this meeting to order. Thank you and welcome. We will start with introductions. We'll start with our clerks.
Good evening. I am Christine Smith, Clerk to the Board. Welcome.
Good evening. I am Arlissa Easton, Deputy Clerk to the Board.
Good evening. Don't be alarmed by my voice. My name is Yvette Townsend Ingram. I serve you on the Board of County Commission at large.
Good evening. I am Commissioner Elaine Powell, representing District 1, Huntersville, Davidson, Cornelius, and North Charlotte, first elected in 2018.
Good evening. I'm George Dunlap, elected by the people of District 3.
Good evening. My name is Lee Altman, County Commissioner serving at large and as Vice Chair.
Good evening and welcome again. My name is Mark Jarrell. I've been elected by the people of District 4. Also have the honor of serving as Chair.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Arthur Griffin. I have the pleasure of serving County Commissioner at large.
Good afternoon. The name is Vilma D. Leak, and I represent the most powerful district in the county. That's District 2.
Good evening. I'm Susan Rodriguez McDowell, and I'm elected by the people of District 6.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Mike Bryan, Mecklenburg County Manager.
Good evening, Tyrone Wade, County Attorney.
All right, that concludes our introductions. I am going to perform the invocation tonight and then also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So those of you that wish to participate, feel free. And I'm going to ask everyone to bow their heads, please. As we gather during this season of reflection, gratitude, and hope, we pause to give thanks for the many blessings that sustain our community. We're mindful of the diverse traditions, beliefs, and lived experiences represented in this room tonight, and we honor the shared humanity that binds us together. In this holiday season, we're asking that you would remind us of the values that transcend differences: compassion, generosity, humility, and love. Ground our hearts in unity and purpose and guide us to put the needs of the people we serve above personal agendas, pride, or division. Grant us wisdom in our decisions, courage in our leadership, and grace in our interactions. And as we close out this year and look ahead with renewed resolve, help us to lead with empathy, to listen deeply, and to act boldly in service of the public good. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One of the ways that this Board of County Commissioners starts out our meetings, we think it's important that the community understand what our mission is, what our vision is, and what our board priorities are. So to that point, our mission is to serve Mecklenburg County residents by helping improve their lives and community. Our vision, Mecklenburg County will be a community of pride and choice for people to live, learn, work, and recreate. Our FY 26-27 board budget priorities are as follows: economic development, education, environmental stewardship, health equity and wellness, services for seniors, workforce development, and reducing racial disparities. And we believe it's important for the public to understand that, because those are the principles and the elements and all the variables that guide our discussions. So with that being said, we'll move to the next part of our agenda, which is public appearance. And with respect to public appearance, I do have to read a rather lengthy statement.
I'm sorry. There's something before that.
Okay. What is it? Because it's not on my.
Introduce the
Oh,
POC.
thank you. I appreciate it. Before we go to public appearance, I know everybody was chomping at the bit to talk to us, but I missed something here. And so we've got a little fun video that we want to show everyone. So with that, we'll go to the video. Thank you.
From all of us at the Mecklenburg Board of County Commissioners, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude to our residents and employees.
Your support, partnership, and dedication are the foundation of our success.
We are truly thankful for the opportunity to serve every single one of you across the county.
Together, through projects, initiatives, and valuable input, we've worked to make Mecklenburg County stronger.
This is a more vibrant place to live, work, and thrive, and our progress would not be possible without your trust and collaboration.
The holiday season is at a time to reflect, to celebrate, and to honor those who make a difference.
We're thinking about our wonderful residents and our incredible county employees.
From our families to yours, we wish you peace, joy, and time to rest and recharge.
As we look ahead to a new year, we do so with hope, unity, and a continued commitment to building a resilient and prosperous future for all in Mecklenburg County.
Happy holidays.
Look at those superstars. Thank you, Suzette and our PI department for putting that together. It's a really nice video. And so with that, before we move to, what was that, Commissioner?
Lights up here. Can't see.
The dais lights. Can we get the lights back, please? Thank you. So before we move to public appearance, we do have an elected official here, and I'd like to recognize Barbara Bleiweiss. If you'll stand, Barbara, please. She is a Soil and Water Conservation Commissioner. Thank you for being here, Barbara. At this time, what we'll do is move to public appearance, and I do have to read a lengthy statement. Public appearance is the period during the board's regular meeting that members of the public are provided the opportunity to speak on matters not appearing on the agenda. Members of the public who appear during the public appearance portion of a regular meeting may discuss any matter within the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners except for the following types of matters. A matter which appears on the agenda of that meeting of the board, a matter which concerns the candidacy of any person for public office, including the candidacy of the person appearing before the board. A request that the board considers funding a certain program or activity, either from the current budget or by inclusion in a future budget. Such requests would be made at the board's annual budget public hearing. The time limit for speaking is 3 minutes, unless there are 4 or more speakers who wish to speak concerning the same matter, in which case all persons wishing to speak on the same matter will be considered a group and given a total of 10 minutes. The board reserves the right to alter these rules on a case-by-case basis as necessary for the efficient and effective conduct of business. Members of the board will not engage in dialogue with public appearance speakers. Comments will be received and followed up on as applicable by county staff and/or members of the board. Handouts and/or tokens shall be given to the clerk for distribution to the board at the conclusion of the meeting. Members of the public can also access and view the meeting on the government channel or online at watch.MeckNC.gov. So we do have 2 podiums that speakers can address the board. First up is going to be, Madam Clerk, am I using which one are we using?
You've got that card.
So use the card instead, so Craig Reynolds is
Yes,
we don't
but
need
we
to.
do have Denisha DeGraffenreid here.
Okay, let me just see this. Thank you. All right, let me do this. Let me see Craig Reynolds. Is Craig here? And Denisha DeGraffenreid?
She's here.
Denisha, if you'll come on down. And then after Denisha, what we'll do is we'll have Mark Etheridge. Mark, if you'll come down to this podium here. And then Liz, you're going to come after Mark, okay? Thank you. Hey, Denisha.
Hi, everybody. Hello, my name is Denisha DeGraffenreid. Thank you guys for having me. Hope you guys have been enjoying time and taking care of yourselves. I'm here tonight to just speak about mental health awareness and just things as it relates to substance use and why people use. So I just want to encourage everybody tonight to just take care of yourselves. It's the holidays. A lot of people are going through a lot of different things. And I encourage everyone in here to just take care of those people that are around you. Even in interactions, when you're engaging or just bypassing somebody, please have an understanding that everybody goes through different things in life. So people have different backgrounds. We're all exposed to different things. We all grew up in different environments. So the way that somebody reacts to you in a certain situation it may not be their best self showing up all the time. So I just want to encourage everybody, if you're willing and able-bodied, to just kind of have that as a reminder. We don't always have to face things with aggression. A lot of people are suffering mentally, suffering financially, suffering socially, economically. There's a lot of ways that people suffer in this life. So if you are in a somewhat stable mindset, just remember that whenever you're engaging and speaking with people. If you know that people are struggling with the substance, please encourage them to reach out and get help. There's a lot of opportunities around Mecklenburg County. I feel like Charlotte does a great job with just providing services and programs and resources to everybody that's around. Do a quick Google search. We have so many options now available with technology to just encourage people to get help. And most importantly, please take care of yourselves. The better we take care of ourselves, the more able we are to take care of those of us that we come into contact with and those people that are around us. It's very vital and critical as we continue life to just remember that people are struggling in society. Everybody wasn't born with the silver spoon, quote unquote, in their mouth. So, when people see you, some people look up to you, people are maybe looking at you from a distance. People you may not even know, you may be encouraging just by being who you are and doing things. So try to keep that forward whenever we step up and step out. And I wish everybody happy holidays. Take care of yourselves. Please slow down on the road. Road rage is, very bad, and I just feel like that's another way to show that people are struggling mentally. And I don't feel like we have the best drivers here. So, just watch out on the roads. It's very dangerous. I follow roadways, so if I had the opportunity to take some people from off the road, I would do it. But take care of yourselves. Thank you. Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you.
Good evening, County Manager, Chairman, and Commissioners. I'm Mark Etheridge with Housing Impact Fund and Ascent Housing. Over the last 5 years, our partnerships with Mecklenburg County have helped provide housing affordable to thousands of residents between 0 and 80% of area median income through the preservation of naturally occurring affordable housing. Tonight, I want to talk about one of our other key partners. Atrium Health has been at the forefront of the local business community and leading new high-impact efforts in affordable housing. Since 2020, they've provided $15 million of low-cost capital to support the acquisition, renovation, and preservation of over 2,200 apartment homes in Mecklenburg County, which are housing nearly 6,000 people today. They're adding another $5 million of support for our latest fund, which is expected to preserve another 1,500 apartment homes for 0 to 80% AMI households. Notably, our new fund will set aside nearly 500 apartments for 30% AMI and below households across the county. Ascent's housing relationship with Atrium started with Hill Rock Estates, a 341-unit apartment community that Roof Above acquired in 2020. Ascent Housing is the operating partner for that project. Hill Rock's innovation comes from its integration of 75 permanent supportive housing units for people exiting chronic homelessness with 266 mixed income units for folks between 30 and 80% of AMI. Atrium provided a $5 million low-cost loan to the project. Without their support, funding from the city's Housing Trust Fund, and the provision of caseworkers by Mecklenburg County, this $50 million project would never have happened. Years later, I'm still awestruck by the aspiration, conviction, and creativity of a group of leaders who brought the project together. And at the same time, Atrium was one of the first organizations to support Housing Impact Fund when Erskine Bowles, Nelson Schwab, and I kicked off its first fundraising efforts in 2020. In addition to their investment, Atrium made an early commitment to fund a team of community impact workers at the apartment properties that the fund acquires. Community impact workers are Atrium employees embedded at our properties who provide counseling, make referrals, connect residents with resources, assess needs, and coordinate recurring place-based programs in areas like workforce development, financial wellness, health, and education. Through partners like Mecklenburg County and Atrium Health, we're transforming thousands of lives by lowering rents by hundreds of dollars per month for low and moderate income households and offering services that help folks overcome their biggest obstacles. None of it would be possible without dozens of key partners and stakeholders. I'm forever grateful for the people I'm able to be involved with through this effort. I can also say, with all sincerity, the Housing Impact Fund has no better private sector partner than Atrium. They are creative as they are generous, from championing the housing first model to working hard to provide opportunity for justice-involved individuals, underwriting and designing a place-based supportive services model. They find ways to do more and then provide the resources needed for them to happen. Life for thousands of low and moderate income people in Mecklenburg County has been made better by the leadership they've demonstrated. Thank you.
Thank you. As Liz is coming, the next speakers are coming as a collective. It would be Don Jonas, Joseph Fuller, and Brian Donato. You can come down to this podium here. Welcome, Liz.
Yes, good evening, County Manager Bryant, Chairman Jarrell, and all of the Board of County Commissioners. I'm Liz Clayson-Kelly. I serve as the CEO of Roof Above. Thank you for all the ways you partner in our mission to unite the community to end homelessness. But on this very cold evening, I want to say thank you especially for your investment in shelter. I'm here tonight to share about another partner in our work, Atrium Health. Now, from my frontline perspective, and you've probably heard me say this before, the two strategies that I think are most critical to preventing and ending homelessness are creating housing solutions for our most vulnerable residents who are very low income and preserving our natural occurring affordable housing units. And you've just heard Mark share earlier tonight about how Roof Above's property at Hill Rock Estate does both of those at the same time. And the reality is this purchase of Hill Rock Estates would not have been possible without Atrium's generous $5 million investment in the project. And I'm here to say the existence of Hill Rock Estates in our community matters. Roof Above just sent out our most recent newsletter, and it shared just one story of Miss Angela. She moved from long-term homelessness into Hill Rock Estates, and from there, she has rebuilt her life. She's had 2 years of housing stability. She started a recovery support group on site. She just purchased a car, and now she's preparing to go to CPCC. This victory is all Angela's, but the combination of affordable, quality housing and support services, which I will add Mecklenburg County funds, provided her that foundation to rebuild her life. And that is just one life. At 75 units of permanent supportive housing and 266 units of NOAA preservation, you can multiply this impact. And while our Hill Rock partnership with Atrium is unique, Atrium is not a new partner in our housing work. When Roof Above took our very first step into housing with More Place, Atrium was right there with us. Today, they provide a medical home for our tenants through Myers Park Clinic, along with psychiatric supports for our tenants with mental health challenges. And now they have expanded those psychiatric supports through adding street psychiatry in our community. They have embedded psychiatric services with our street outreach team, as well as Hearts for the Invisible. And our most unique partnership with Atrium has just kicked off, and it's around chaplaincy services. Through a Roof Above and Atrium partnership, those in training to become chaplains offer spiritual care to those we serve and our Roof Above teammates. And unrelated, I'd be remiss not to say Atrium's a phenomenal employer of men in our shelter, and we're so grateful for that partnership. So we know the work is not done. We remain steadfast in efforts to strengthen the safety net for those in a housing crisis and to create affordable housing solutions across an array of need. We also remain steadfast in doing so in partnership and are grateful for both your and Atrium's partnership.
Thank you, Liz. After this group, each of you will get up to 3 minutes apiece. And after this, Colin, you can come down to either side. You're on that side, so it's fine.
Okay, good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to speak here tonight. My name is Joseph Fuller. I'm a psychiatric tech at Atrium Health Cabarrus. I'm just here to share my story about how Atrium Health is working to help people like me have a stable home. In 2023, I found myself in a situation that forced me into homelessness. One weekend while working, another teammate told me about Atrium Health's HOPE program. It stands for Housing Opportunities Promoting Equity. I applied for the HOPE program in October 2023 and was approved for the program shortly after. With the help of teammates on the social impact team at Atrium Health, I applied to 2 properties and was contacted and approved by Hill Rock Estates, and I moved into my apartment shortly after. I just renewed my lease with Hill Rock Estates last month. I've been there at Hill Rock Estates for the past 2 years, and I've also shared the program with other teammates, and one of those teammates is now my neighbor at Hill Rock Estates. I'm very grateful for the HOPE program. It has allowed me to have a steady place to live. Just recently, in April, I was granted custody of my 3 children, and that could not have happened without the HOPE program. So In July this year, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I kind of fell behind on my rent due to being out of work, but the Hill Rock Leasing Office, they worked with me because I always pay the rent on time, and also because I'm part of the whole program. Atrium's Teammate Emergency Care Fund, they helped me pay my back rent, which allowed me to get back on my feet. Atrium's just been very helpful in assisting me to get housed and stay housed, so I'm very thankful for all they have done for me and my family. And I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Hello, everyone. I'm grateful to be here with you today. My name is Brian Donato. I serve as a teammate support strategist at Atrium Health, where I focus on helping colleagues with housing needs, among other needs as well. To how Joseph just mentioned, our HOPE program, our HOPE housing program is providing stability for members of our own workforce. Our teammates come from all walks of life, and that comes through their own individual circumstances that make housing a key concern for a few of our teammates. I began my journey as a community health worker at Atrium Health, working for 2 HOPE housing properties, Maple Way and Pines on Wendover, located here in East Charlotte. I've seen firsthand how Atrium's HOPE housing program has not only benefited Atrium teammates, but also the residents at each of these communities. Through collaboration and a strong partnership with the Goodfellas Club, we've been able to assist 23 teammates, including their families and their loved ones, to be able to avoid eviction and avoid being removed from their home and being able to receive rental or utility assistance this year alone. I have many success stories. I wish I could share them all with you all today. I'll share one that resonates deeply with me, and I hope it does as well with all of you here today. A few months ago, a teammate by the name of Anthony came through our HOPE program, reaching out for assistance and for help. Anthony had come to us looking for assistance. His wife had recently underwent several surgeries and health complications. Due to having to take custody of their 2 grandchildren, on top of that, Anthony was paying for hotels and not sure where else to go and where else to turn. Anthony turned to the HOPE program, and through the HOPE program, we've been able to help him set him up for success and been able to help him secure housing. Anthony has been able to receive assistance through the HOPE program and through our Teammate Emergency Care Fund to have his first month's rent, his security deposit, his utility deposit, and even food supplies to be provided to him and his family. As of last week, Anthony was able to move into Pepper Tree Apartments. Anthony said this is the best Christmas gift he's ever gotten. This is just one of many examples of how our internal and external programs at Atrium connect together to help our community and help our teammates and our residents. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Jarrell and fellow commissioners. My name is Don Jonas, and I'm with Atrium Health, where I lead our work designed to address and alleviate many of the non-medical issues impacting overall health and wellness, including access to healthy food, employment, and housing. I'm here tonight to share that at Atrium Health, we know housing is essential to health. We embrace the opportunity to support community-led efforts designed to expand affordable housing opportunities and reduce homelessness across Mecklenburg County. I wanted to briefly share a few examples of our commitment to this work, including, as you heard earlier, in 2019, we provided $5 million to help Roof Above purchase Hill Rock Apartments, providing housing and supportive services for individuals with disabilities and long-term experiences with homelessness. Since 2020, we've provided an additional $10 million to support the Housing Impact Fund, preserving naturally occurring affordable housing by protecting more than 2,000 affordable rental units in Mecklenburg County. In addition to financial assistance, when we heard from residents that they needed better access to care, we placed a virtual care clinic on site at one of the properties to provide easier access. We know there's more to do, and we'll continue to invest in community efforts to expand affordable housing. As you heard earlier, early next year, we're going to announce an additional $5 million to continue to support affordable housing in Mecklenburg County. We're also committed to helping our community address and alleviate homelessness through a range of projects. Our CEO, Gene Woods, co-chaired the Home for All effort, our county's first ever comprehensive strategy to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. we work with supportive housing communities on a health and housing program serving chronically unhoused individuals with complex medical and behavioral health issues. More than 90% of participants remain in stable housing, do not relapse, and avoid needing emergency mental health services. Wellness Without Walls is, to the best of our knowledge, one of the first street psychiatry programs in the state. Through this partnership, our behavioral health team goes into the community, delivering care and other support to unhoused individuals with mental health needs, meeting people where they are. This is not a complete list of all of our affordable housing and homelessness work in Mecklenburg County, but a few examples of the many ways we work in partnership with the community on these issues. Day in and day out, Atrium Health and Advocate Health leaders and our teammates are deeply engaged in trying to find solutions to some of our greatest needs in our community. First and foremost, we are a healthcare provider. That's what we do. But we also understand how the inability to meet certain basic needs, including housing, impacts a person's health and well-being. For us, healthcare doesn't stop at the hospital door. We are committed to finding and supporting innovative ways to make a difference to support all of our community members. Thank you.
Thank you. And while Colin Lane is coming, is Craig Reynolds here? Okay. So then, Colin, you will be the last speaker.
All right, thank you. Chairman Jarrell, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. I'm Colin Lane, the point person for the Pearl for Atrium Health. I'm grateful for the opportunity to directly address affordable housing as part of this project. Unfortunately, a false narrative has emerged that doesn't accurately represent the current plans of the project. As a reminder, we're 6 months into a 15-year tax increment grant. We're barely 3% into the project. We're just getting started with the impact that we will have on the community and far ahead of the goals that we started with. To date, we have received no financial compensation, zero, from the TIG. You'll recall the TIG reimbursement is not taking away from taxpayers. It's a partial reimbursement as part of the new incremental property taxes the Pearl is now paying you. The county estimated over the next 20 years, it will yield an additional $40+ million windfall for the city and county, with another $5 million net gain each year beyond because of the Pearl. In the span of 4 years, we've brought Charlotte-Mecklenburg its first 4-year medical school, an international surgical training center with 8,000 visitors in the first year, as well as medtech and biotech firms, each bringing jobs, investment, and tax revenue. As it relates to housing, it's important to note that Atrium is not a developer. We had to identify someone who could do the job, take on the affordable housing, and make it happen. For the on-site component of housing, infrastructure work was just completed in June to unencumber the residential lot for development. I'm pleased to say that the initial plans for the residential tower were filed by the developer already in November, with plans for them to deliver 5% affordable units on-site as part of the project. Separately, on North Tryon, we're contributing an almost $30 million parcel of land for free to be developed for affordable housing. This parcel has been planned contribution toward affordable housing since 2020. While it's separate from a land swap taking place between Atrium and Livian in 2021, and Livian requested to develop that parcel given its contiguous nature to their own 16-acre site. And in Livian, not Atrium, tied the land contribution to the land swap completion. When the land swap is complete, the North Tryon property will be transferred to Livian for them to develop affordable housing on the full 28+ total acre combined tract. If for some reason the land swap doesn't occur, we will contribute that land to another developer for free for affordable housing. My hope is it is very clear that we are keeping our promises. As we think about this special time of year and the lessons that go along with it, I hope that you can see that our long history of leading from within our community, including our support of affordable housing, can and does provide those who may have had hope for those who may have had none before. Thank you for your time and ongoing support. I hope you have a great, happy, and safe holiday.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our speakers. Next, we'll move forward with the agenda. We're going to move to appointments, and the first one is the Historic Landmarks Commission. So nominations or appointment is needed on the Historic Landmarks Commission to fill one unexpired term expiring July 30th, 2027. Chair of the Historic Landmarks Commission recommends Matthew Browder. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved in second. We got an unreadiness, Commissioner Dunlap.
Chair, I want to take this opportunity to share a concern that I have about not this particular nomination, but recommendations in general. When you look at the applicants, you sometimes come away with a different recommendation than has been recommended by the chair. So I think we need to look at more broadly why people are being recommended. It's great to have their recommendations, but too many times people are recommended based on their relationships as opposed to their qualifications. And so when I was looking at this, not the questions in anybody's qualifications, but I think we need to have more information other than just the fact that we recommend this person.
I agree. That makes sense. I think everybody's agreeing with that. One of the things that that I've lifted up as well, Commissioner, is that they need to start telling us what skill set they are trying to fill, so that we get a better understanding of why that person may be there. So I think it's reasonable they're backfilling a skill set, but to your point, if we don't know it, there's a lot of haziness out there. So, yes, Commissioner.
I thought we had a policy that we would not address recommendations from others to appoint someone.
I don't think that there's a policy, Commissioner, that says the chair of the advisory committees can make a recommendation. We don't have to accept it.
That is correct. We ask for recommendations, but we can make sure that we state, we do with most of the advisory committees, we ask that they tell us why they're recommending these people, but we will make sure to emphasize that going forward.
So, Madam Clerk, to that point, just so that we can make sure that we're taking action, let's create and draft some level of communication that outlines exactly what we're expecting when a recommendation comes. Like, let's make sure that everybody has it, and so that when we get it, it'll meet that criteria.
Okay.
From now on, okay?
All right. Yes.
So with that being said, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let's hear aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed, Madam.
Excuse me, were we voting on the person or the recommendation?
We're voting on Mr. Browder. Okay. Yep. So we voted on the person. That's unanimous, Madam Clerk. All right, next up is going to be Central Piedmont Community College Board of Trustees. Again, just as a reminder, with CPCC, board policy says that we have to conduct interviews, okay? So with that being said, nominations are needed on the Central Piedmont Community College Board of Trustees to fill one unexpired term expiring June 30th, 2028. There is a recommendation letter in the agenda packet recommending Janet Labar. Again, all nominees must be interviewed per board policy. Are there any nominations? Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
I'd like to nominate Corinne Pereira.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Sam Spencer.
All right.
Mr. Chair, does that mean that Janet Labar has already been nominated as well?
She has not been.
Okay, well, I'll recommend it.
Okay.
Who is that?
Janet Labar.
But she's been on the board before.
She was, but we're not going to debate that right now. What we're doing is we're just going to take the nominations. But she was, to your point, she was on the board previously. There's information in the packet that speaks to that. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So we've got all three candidates have been nominated, so I'll have to appoint an ad hoc committee, and we'll set those interviews up for the board. Okay? All right, next up are going to be appointments to the Agricultural Advisory Board. Are there nominations or appointments are needed on the Agricultural Advisory Board to fill 4 slots. Sherry Czar, District 1, Connor Newman, District 3, Alicio Pascual Baez, District 3, and Michael Donovan, District 1, are recommended. The initial terms of this new board will be staggered. Are there nominations, or is there a motion to nominate and appoint Sherry Czar, Connor Newman, Alicio Pascual Baez, and Michael Donovan?
So moved. Second.
Was that moved to nominate and appoint?
Yes.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor, let's see by show of hands. All right, that's unanimous, Madam Clerk. So they are all appointed. Next, we'll move to Mecklenburg EMS Joint Agency Board of Commissioners. Reappointments are needed on the Mecklenburg EMS Joint Agency Board of Commissioners for 7 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2028. David Calloway, Jonathan Collier, Jamie Fenwar, Sid Fletcher, Gary Little, Derek Ramos, and Michael Sliss are eligible for reappointment. Is there a motion to reappoint said names?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any in readiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next up, appointments for the Town of Mint Hill Board of Adjustment. Reappointment is needed on the Town of Mint Hill Board of Adjustment for 1 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2028. William Barrett is eligible for reappointment, and the Mint Hill Board of Commissioners recommends his reappointment.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any in readiness? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous, Madam Clerk. And it is after 6:30, so we are going to move to public hearings. This is a business location expansion. This is SoFi Technologies, Inc. Motion is needed to open the public hearing to receive comments on a proposed business investment program grant to SoFi Technologies, Inc.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And I'll turn it over to Clay Andrews.
Good evening, Chairman Jarrell, Vice Chairman Altman, County Commissioner Bryant, and fellow commissioners and executive staff. My name is Clay Andrews. I'm with the Office of Economic Development for Mecklenburg County, and I'm here tonight to present for your consideration a business investment program grant for an economic development project for SoFi Technologies. SoFi Technologies is a pioneering fintech platform offering a holistic suite of financial services that empower members to manage, grow, and protect their wealth, supported by education and community benefits. It was founded in 2011, is now a public company. Technology and customer focused. They offer technology and customer focused solutions. They're headquartered in San Francisco, and they have offices in 14 locations in the U.S. and Hong Kong, Latin America, and Switzerland. They have an existing office in Charlotte, so this is for an expansion of a company that's already here. What they're proposing is to move their office and grow it with a $3 million new taxable investment as an office. It doesn't have a huge amount of investment associated with it, mostly office equipment. $1.2 million in real property and $1.8 million in business personal property, but it does involve 250 new employees at an average of $116,268 per year. And for this facility, Mecklenburg County was competing with Jacksonville, Florida, and Frisco, Texas. The company is currently located in South Park area. They're looking at moving to Ballantyne, 13034 Ballantyne Corporate Place in the submarket Ballantyne in Commission District number 6. So when we look at this project, the city of Charlotte was also involved, along with the state of North Carolina. And between us, the package for a deal like this that predominantly is helps us with jobs more than investment. The county offered a 5-year grant, 75%. For $39,354. The city of Charlotte offered a 7-year grant, 90%, for $33,155. And the state offered a JDIG, Job Development Investment Grant, for $2,328,200. That JDIG is dependent upon a local match. So the total incentive package offered is just over $2,400,000. So we look at the jobs, they're broken down here. There's kind of small print there, but what this is mainly meant to show is there's a variety of jobs. And upon questioning, the company did say that a lot of these jobs do not require a college education to be proficient. And A lot of the jobs on here even have similar SOC codes, but it shows different categories, different wage categories within the same job. So it shows that when you enter the job, you can enter it at one level, become a manager before moving on. So we always do a cost-benefit analysis on these things before we just offer incentives, just to make sure that they don't cost the county money. And in this case, it's no different. SoFi Technologies, Inc. is expected to induce an additional 494 jobs by the end of the 5-year grant term. These are jobs above and beyond the jobs the company's bringing, but are here because the company moves here or it expands. And SoFi Technologies is expected to induce an additional cumulative net of $1,620,673 in sales tax revenue by the end of year 5. SoFi Technologies is expected to net the county $237,119 in revenue in the final year of the grant term, for a cumulative net of $687,994 over 5 years. But it's not all about it's not all about the money they bring. It's also about the talent they bring and the contributions that they give. This company, we did look into some of the background for this company. The company, a lot of these positions, as I said, do not require college education. They do offer a full slate of benefits, including insurance, mental health insurance, dental insurance, tuition reimbursement, commitment to working with all of our workforce partners locally at the school district level, at community college level, at the university level. They have internal affinity groups for African Americans, LGBTQ, and women in the Charlotte office, and up to $315 a month in commuter spending accounts, which is a pre-tax account to help their employees pay for commuting to work. They also do hire justice-involved people for some positions in the unregulated part of the business. So in conclusion, what I'm requesting is the Board of County Commissioners to vote and adopt a resolution to approve a 5-year, 75% business investment program grant to SoFi Technologies, Inc. for a not-to-exceed amount of $39,354, and to authorize the county manager to negotiate and execute the contract. This concludes my presentation.
So thank you, Clay. Madam Clerk, are there any speakers?
No, sir.
All right, there's no speakers. Do we have questions for Clay? But, let me go to Chair of ED first, so thank you, I'm sorry.
Clay, can you just explain the, on the project employment page, number 7, where you've got some of the numbers are in red and some are in black? Can you just explain?
Well, these were just ones that I pointed out were a little different than some of the SOC code, which stands for Standard Occupational Code, which is a code the federal government gives to every job created. And these were just places that I noticed that there was a big variety in the job here versus the average. And to your point, a lot of times the average doesn't tell you a whole lot. So this was where I said we went down a little deeper this time. And so you see, even for the same SOC code, you have a loan officer, and then you have a loan HE loan officer, which is a higher earning loan officer. In some cases, you have closers and funders, which are also considered some of the same SOC codes. And you could have somebody who's involved in closing and also a closing manager. So you can see that some of the prices skew high and some skew low. They come to an average that's pretty close to the SOC code average. But I just wanted to give you a little further detail to show you that some of those come in at a lower wage and move to a higher wage before they could, in the same category.
I guess the part that I'm not connecting with is where, like, if it says the wage is $78,000, but then under annual median MSA, it's $138,460. Like, that's a huge difference.
That's right. There is a huge difference in some of these because a lot of these are highly commissioned jobs. So they have a very low kind of a draw or a base salary.
Oh, okay.
But they earn commission. So when the numbers are tallied up for the federal government, they're probably closer to the higher level, but it's not guaranteed by the company.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So, Mr. Chairman, the committee unanimously supported this. We really do like to see when there's upward mobility within the company, and so we all voted to approve.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Townsend Ingram.
I just wanted to say, I shouldn't say anything.
with my voice.
Listen
but
carefully.
I just wanted to say thank you, Clay. And there was the clip that showed where there is a pre-tax, like they're helping with commuter services for their employees. Those are the things that I really, really like seeing, that it's time, like the companies that we are bringing in and that we're helping.
Can't hear you down here.
You have to work with me today.
She doesn't feel good.
The companies that we are giving these tax incentives and breaks to and grants to actually tie back to our priorities, and that they're getting to the meat of what we're doing. So we're not just doing this, because they could potentially bring these jobs, but that this is a really good one. So appreciate Madam Chair of the Economic Development Committee, and this one's a really good one. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So, colleagues, let's take it in two steps because everybody may not vote to approve, so I don't want to take it together. So, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next, I'll entertain a motion to adopt a resolution approving a business investment program grant to SoFi Technologies, Inc. for a not-to-exceed amount of $39,354 and authorize the county manager to negotiate and execute the contract.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any unreadiness? Hearing none. All those in favor, let's see by show of hands. All those opposed? That's one opposed, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clay. Appreciate it. All right, next we'll turn to the manager's report. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight, I have one item under my manager's report. I have the distinct pleasure to recognize one of our board members for achieving 5 years of dedicated service to Mecklenburg County. As many of you all know, public service at this level requires commitment, resilience, and a willingness to make difficult decisions in the best interest of our residents. Today's honoree plays a critical role in shaping policies, investments, and priorities that impact the daily lives of our more than 1.2 million residents. Her service ensures that county government remains accountable, transparent, and aligned with community needs. This commissioner has helped guide major initiatives in this community, and her leadership directly supports our ongoing ability to deliver high-quality services. I'd like to acknowledge Commissioner Altman for her 5 years of dedicated services to this board. Commissioner Altman is entering her second consecutive term as vice chair, an illustration of the respect her colleagues have for her leadership. And she has managed to extend her services beyond her at-large position. Commissioner Altman serves on our Economic Development Committee, the Health and Human Services Committee, along with our Performance Review and Seniors Ad Hoc Committees. In addition, she serves on the Metropolitan Transit Commission and Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization. She is a lead voice for transit improvements for Mecklenburg County. Commissioner Altman was instrumental in articulating the challenges of CATS through her leadership role on the Metropolitan Transit Commission. She has been tireless in supporting the transit tax, which will have a transformational impact for the county for generations to come. She has been a steadfast advocate for elevating workforce development as a board priority, ensuring the county is moving forward by bringing partners together and creating a more cohesive, efficient system. Commissioner Altman has held care and service to our community as her North Star. As the vice chair of the board, Commissioner Altman has been steadfast in her leadership role as well as supporting Chair Jarrell whenever needed. Now I'd like to share a video in honor of Commissioner Altman.
This is awesome. Oh my God. She's like,
Ms. Rodman, it's my honor to present you with your 5-year pin.
Yes.
Thank you.
The first of many to come.
Yes. You have to say something.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, well, Suzette, way to make me look okay, like, way to make me look good, thank you. You did an absolutely gorgeous job with your team on that beautiful video. Mr. Manager, my mother-in-law has a saying, she says, "Kill me now," when something so wonderful happens that it would be like a great moment to go out. So you truly, just take my breath away with your very generous words. And as I said at the last meeting, I love this board, I love my colleagues. It is such a thrill and pleasure to work alongside such incredible public servants. And I wake up every morning ready to hit the ground running, full of energy. And wow, cannot believe it's already been 5 years. So I believe Commissioner Meyer is ill tonight, and so I'm sorry that she isn't able to be here to receive hers, but I know that we'll be sure to do that the next time she is back with us. So thank you again. I adore you all. I appreciate it so much.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Congratulations again, and certainly we will recognize Commissioner Meyer at our next public meeting. That concludes my report, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. That was really great. So at this time, we'll move to our consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the items not pulled from consent?
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. So full consent items, we have 25-0661, resolution authorizing Mecklenburg County to participate in the commercial property assessed capital expenditure. CPACE program. Commissioner Leek.
I pulled this for the manager to respond to what does this mean for the county economically.
Sure. The board will recall that you received a presentation regarding the CPACE program at the October 14th Public Policy Workshop. On the 18th of November, the board endorsed a resolution of intent to participate, as well as held a public hearing to hear comments regarding CPACE. This resolution authorizes all county residents to participate in the CPACE program.
What is CPACE?
It stands for the county to participate in the commercial property assessed capital expenditure program.
Thank you. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item is 25-0671. It's a budget amendment. Health Department, revenue increase/decrease. Commissioner Leek.
I pulled this for information for the general public as to what areas will be decreased and what areas will be increased. It is specified within the confines of the information. So I pray that we will read this information because it speaks to children fatality prevention team programs as well as AIDS expenditure and other areas of expenditure. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. And that concludes the consent items. We'll move to commissioner reports. I'll start with the voiceless lady on my right. Commissioner Powell.
I just want to say that I think that your speech, Michael Bryant, for the 5-year pin was so awesome. Like, taking the time to recognize in a positive way the work that's done. So I just really appreciate what went into that. It means a lot. And whoever did the video, that was awesome. So thank you. That's all.
Commissioner Dunlap.
There was something I wanted to say, other than the fact that I agree, Mr. Manager, that was an awesome presentation.
It was.
And I can attest to the fact that my colleague here has been deeply involved ever since her very first appointment, because the assignment that I gave her, I didn't want. And that was transportation. But since that time, she has really kept this board abreast. She has fought vigorously for the counties to make sure that they had some say in the decisions that were being made. And I admire the work that she's done. And that's just one of many things that she's done on behalf of this board. The other thing I wanted to say is that my acknowledgement tonight goes to Park and Rec. I have been able to look at some of the things that Park and Recreation has been doing that most of us weren't even aware of, and to see it come to fruition. I was with the chairman and our deputy county manager last Friday night at Eastway, and they had an event out there that people would just die to be at, and they didn't know about it. But and while we were there, the committee that gave
Partners for Parks,
$50,000 to kids who wanted to participate in recreational activities. It was an awesome event. It was an awesome night, and thank you, Nick, and to the staff at Eastway Recreation for putting on such a good program.
that's right. Commissioner Altman.
Thank you, thank you. I want to have all eyes turned tomorrow at 6 p.m. to our Chairman Jarrell, who will be leading the convocation of the new Transit Board, and where 27 members will be impaneled to make history. And he's going to do an amazing job. And this is something that we all did together. And I feel the momentousness of the moment, and just really send just prayers and blessings to all those who are going to do this important work. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Griffin.
I don't have a specific report, but just a reflection on one of the comments of one of the speakers this evening about kids who have silver spoons. All kids potentially need help, love, and support, whether they have silver spoons or no spoon at all. And I just want to continue to make sure that we raise the floor and the ceiling at all times when we're talking about growing healthy children and healthy families. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Leek.
To piggyback on what Mr. Griffin has just stated is the very opposite of what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing on the news. There's not an afternoon or an evening that we do not hear about the problems of violence with our young people and with some of our young adults who have not learned how to disagree or become disagreeable in the process. And when we can do that, we will have made major steps. And we've never seen it this way in this America before, at the university in Boston and other places where we're losing lives of strong, educated young people. So I'm asking this community to become more aware of your environment and make sure that we understand the people that we are associating with. You know them better than anybody else. So all I'm saying to us, learn how to control your physical bodies and your means of striking back, and especially in the homes that we live in where there is violence in the home and where there are those who are sexually taking advantage of our children publicly. So I ask mothers and fathers, know where your children are, know with whom they keep company, as well as yourselves. So I just needed to say that, but it grieves me, and to know that we're moving into a new year of 2026, that we will not have the same type of problems that we've had in the past. I'm going to stop now because the young lady to my left said that if I talked too long, because we need to get out of here by 7 o'clock. It's 10 after 7. I'll stop right here.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Rodriguez-McDowell.
You got me. You got me there. What happened was Commissioner Leek made a prediction we'd be out of here by 7, and I said, only if we don't have long speeches. So anyway, thank you for the tee off there. I wanted to also mention that a constituent reached out to me to compliment the Christmas tree at the Eastway Regional Rec Center. And they made a very big deal about how amazing and beautiful it is, and that it's the most beautiful tree in the entire county, and that Park and Rec was to be commended for that. So I wanted to pass that along. And I also, on a serious note, I also learned today a little bit more about what has happened to the people who are disappeared in Mecklenburg County by ICE and by Border Patrol. I don't know if everybody's aware, but people are being detained in our county, a large number of people. We don't know the exact number. And the conditions are deplorable. These have women and children and men. And I am really going to be trying to find out more about where they are, where this is located, and how this can happen in our county under our noses. It's just something I can't abide by. And I just really wanted to lift up the folks this holiday season who will be separated from their families because they're living in basically a concentration camp right here in our own county. So as I do want to extend happy holiday wishes to everyone, I want us all to remember that it's real families, real moms and dads and kids and people who are affected, and they're still being affected today in our county. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I didn't mean to bring down the mood, but it's really serious.
Thank you for that. Thank you, absolutely. Let me go to Commissioner Altman. She wanted to.
Yes, apologies. The meeting is Thursday at 6 p.m., not tomorrow, so tune in then for the Transit Authority.
Thank you for the correction. At 6 p.m. Yes, so a few things that I want to say before we break. This is our last meeting of the year, and I want to reiterate and double down on what an honor it is to serve with each and every one of you. And just thank you for the opportunity that you've afforded me, and thank you for the work that you do on behalf of the residents of Mecklenburg County. Second thing I want to say, congratulations to you, Madam Vice Chair, 5 years. The manager lifted up several sort of traits that you have to serve. And I whispered to Commissioner Altman, crazy might be one, right? But certainly want to say it's just been such an honor and a joy to serve with you, and I can't wait till Myra is back. And we can shout her out as well. And then a couple other things. One, I want everybody to know I will be launching an investigation. As you notice, the business investment grants have been going to District 6, and I'm not really sure what that's about, but there's some sort of thing that's going on there. So we'll have to figure that out. And finally, I want all of the team members within the county, from the executive team to everyone, on behalf of the board, to let you know how much this board appreciates what you do and what you mean to this county. The work that you do, we can't do our work without you, and we are just so appreciative of your leadership and your commitment and your partnership to us. And so on behalf of all of us up here, we want to say thank you. And the final shout out will go to two different departments that, when you think about this year and the years that we've all served, some of the folks that are constantly doing the work, particularly for us, or our board support assistants that keep us straight and run a lot of interference for us, and then also the clerk's office. So thank you guys as well. You really keep the wheels turning for us, and we would never be able to do this stuff without our audiovisual people. So want to shout them out as well. They're always behind the scenes. No one knows who they are, but we see you, we know you, we appreciate you, so thank you all as well. And of course, our security folks. But with that, I do want to just say happy holidays to everyone. It is an amazing honor for all of us to serve, so God bless everyone. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.